time, so I'll go back and introduce my good friend and the person that who is an inspiration to very many people. He is Dr. Bob Roberts. He is the founder of a Global Net, which is a ministry dedicated to mobilizing church for transformation in the public square, and co-founder of Multi-Faith Neighbors Network, a multi-faith organization committed to creating international religious freedom through through intentional cross-cultural relationship. Over the past 20 years, Bob has been a trailblazer in peacemaking in international religious freedom arena. Frequently he gets the call from U.S. Department, United Nations, U.S. Islamic Forum, World Economic Forum, Ambassador International royal families and diplomats, policy leaders, and others for his groundbreaking work in the field. He seeks to build and execute models, thereby multi-faith in the church, planting combined to create flourishing cities. Dr. Robert has had honor of engaging in bridge building efforts in Saudi Arabia, Vietnam, Israel, Pakistan, India, Afghanistan, Indonesia, Egypt, West Iraq, Kuwait, Iran, Mexico, Brazil, Australia, and other countries around the world. Bob has started and led Northwood Church in Dallas-Fort Worth area for about 30 years ago, now enjoys his role as a founding global pastor. He is the author of 6 books: Transformation, Localization, Multiplying Church, Real-Time Connection, Bold as Love, and Lessons from the East. He is also host of Bold Love podcast, where he tells the stories of the journey along with interviewing friends he has met along the way, encouraging people in boldly love your neighbors. Bob has contributed or been featured on World Economic Forum, Fox Business Channel, Washington Post, New York Times, news services, C-SPAN, and Templeton Religious Trust, Christianity Today, Outreach Magazine, and others. Bob is a graduate of a Fuller Theological Seminary, Doctorate of Ministry, Western Baptist Theological Seminary, Master of Divinity, and graduate from Baylor University. He and his wife, Nikki, have 2 children and 3 grandchildren. It is my honor to introduce Bob Robert. Please.
Thank you so much, Majib. I am excited to be with you today. Your Excellencies and everyone else that's listening today, I'm excited about this opportunity. Thank you, TVOne, for making this a priority. I love Pakistan. I've been there many times, and I have thought many times that Texas and Pakistan are very similar. Our culture, our food, everything about us is very much alive and exciting and good. So thank you so much for the opportunity to be here and to speak. There's not a place I love in all the world more than Pakistan. Pakistan has had a huge impact on my life because many years ago, I began to do development work in Afghanistan. And I always went through Pakistan when I did, starting in 2002. And so the Pakistani people have a very close place in my heart. I'll be honest with you. 20 years ago, when I began to work with Muslims and I went to Pakistan and Afghanistan, I was very nervous. I was afraid. I wondered, would I be safe? How would the people treat me? But it has been incredible. And the Pakistani people that I know have been exceptional people. Many times, I hear people talk about Pakistan and they may hear something in the news. And I always tell them, listen, the Pakistani people are exceptional people. They're kind, they're warm, they're loving, they're friendly. It's true that they're Muslim and they're good people. And I have tremendous respect for them. Many years ago, I had the opportunity of meeting some Pakistanis, some that have actually been on this program today. And together we came up with an idea. What if we as evangelical Christians in America were to do more to protect the Muslims that were here and to stand against Islamophobia? And what if they, as some of the leading Muslims and imams and clerics in Pakistan, were to stand up for the Christians there? Because we American Christians are concerned about Christians in Pakistan, Pakistani Muslims are concerned about Christians in America. And so we came up with the idea and we started having a retreat. And the first retreat we had was pastors and imams in America, where we went to a cowboy ranch and we spent 3 days together. And for the first time, evangelical pastors and imams got to know one another. It was fun. And then we went to Qatar, where there in Doha, there were Pakistani imams and Pakistani pastors who met and did the same thing. And on the third day, we brought everyone together. And we came up with an idea about how we would write a joint statement, stand up for one another, and have a big event at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. And we did it. And it was incredible. Prince Turki Al Faisal of Saudi Arabia came and was in attendance as a friend of what we were doing. And hundreds of Muslims and Christians and even Jews came to that event, the first of its kind. Since that time, we have now had retreats in almost 20 cities, representing over 300 clerics, and those churches, mosques, synagogues represent over 500,000 people. Thank you, Pakistan. It all started with you. And we're now doing those retreats in the last year in Uzbekistan and Kazakhstan, and we're about to do them in Sudan, and we're going to come back and do more in Pakistan, and we're going to do them in Nigeria, and they're spreading all over the world. And I'm doing it with Pakistani imams and pastors together around the world. Why can't we work together? We should. We must. We must never give up on working together. You believe that we as Christians are people of the book, and we should work together. I read the Quran. Every year I try to read it, and I'm actually taking a class right now on the Quran so that I can learn more about it and understand it. And I've learned many things in the Quran that talk about equality and justice and freedom. It's in your documents. Many people in America have the idea it's only in the Bible, in Christian documents, but that's not true. It's in the Quran and it's in Islamic documents. I am so proud of the document that 1,800 scholars signed to support equality and religious freedom, both in Pakistan and around the world. Equality in status and opportunities, the law, free expression, politics, belief, worship, and assembly. This cannot go unnoticed. Thank you, Pakistan. We stand as your partner. Now, these are things that we have to always work on. In my country, I'm constantly having to challenge Americans, especially evangelicals, that they should respect Muslims, not fear Muslims, and support their equality and their freedom of religion. And so sometimes some in my country would get nervous about Muslims, like some Muslims in Pakistan may get nervous about Christians. But when that happens, we have to push back. The law is the best way to protect all. And, I remember hundreds of years ago, American Christianity, not just American, but global Christianity and European Christianity had to stand up for the rights and the separation of church and state and the freedom of religion. And many Christians a few hundred years ago pushed back and said, no, if we do that, there will be less Christians. But guess what? Christianity stood on its own 2 feet, and it stood there with neutral laws, because religion is not just something that we believe in our head, it's also something that we believe in our heart. I believe the strength of any religion is not that a government pushes that religion, but that the religion's ideas are strong enough that it can stand on its own feet. And I believe that's true about Islam. The Muslims that I know from Pakistan, both in Pakistan and America and around the world, they're very smart people, they're educated people, they can stand on their own 2 feet. So I challenge you to keep the battle. There's a country not far from you right now where I recently read an article that many people in this country are leaving Islam because the government is so stringent and strong. I challenge Pakistan, never be one of those countries. Be one of the countries that sees the best and that it's giving an opportunity. I want the world to know the Pakistan and the Pakistanis that I know. Things are changing. Dr. Muhammad Al-Alisa of the Muslim World League is actually coming to our church March 21 through 23rd. Bridges are being built between Saudis and Islam and Christianity, and now's the time to stand up and work together. Let me tell you a story, and I'm finished. 5 years ago, Ambassador David Saperstein became the ambassador for religious freedom in America, and it made me nervous. I thought, he is a Jew. There's only 7 million Jews in America, only 7 other million Jews outside of America, 14 million Jews in the world. Why should we have a Jewish ambassador for religious freedom? But it worked. Do you know why? The values and virtues of our faith and the commitment to neutral law where all religions have freedom, he stood up for that and did a phenomenal job. And now he's one of my close friends and is actually on my board. Sam Brownback is a Christian, and Sam Brownback is the current ambassador for religious freedom. Both of them have been to your country, and both send your greetings. And do you know what? They're both friends, different religions, different political parties. I talked to them this morning, and I thought to myself, wouldn't it be something if the next American ambassador for religious freedom was a Muslim? And why not? If the virtues and the value and the respect of law is there, we can do it. May our intellect drive our passion, but may our passion never drive our intellect. May we think carefully about what we believe and then passionately pursue it. God bless the United States of America, and God bless Pakistan. Thank you so much, Majid. Thank you, TV1.
Thank you so much, Dr. Robert. It's a great honor to have you in this session. And thank you so much for your love and your warm feeling about for Pakistan and for the people of Pakistan and the rest of Muslim world. बहुत शुक्रिया के साथ डॉक्टर मुजीब काजी और पास्टर रॉबर्ट्स का उनकी बातें आपने सुनी. हम आखिरी अपने प्रोग्राम के हिस्से में दाखिल हो चुके हैं और अभी एक मैसेज हम सुनेंगे और ये मैसेज है